What's the word? What's the word? This your boy London for Television Talents with another banger exclusive video. So y'all know how we gotta do it today. Got a guest on the show. I got Jay Marie here for the very first time. Well, not the first time, but in a long time from when we did our last podcast about my mom is back. So how you doing, mama?
I'm doing wonderful.
No. You can't come on the show and be nervous today. So you got a lot of stuff to talk about. So
I'm doing great.
You doing great?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
No
But before we do that, we need to set the energy right now. So you know what we about to do right now, don't you?
I know what you're about to do.
No, you know what we about to do right now, right?
I know what he's about to do.
You sure you know?
Yes.
All right, well, if you say you know, but I don't think you know. But what else? But before we go to that though, tell people how your week has been, what God has done for you before we get into, you know what I'm saying, the hype of everything. Tell us something what God done for you, what you couldn't do without Him.
Couldn't breathe without him, but anywho, my week's been wonderful now. For the past month or so, been dealing very badly with anxiety because of what's going on with this virus. But I know who's in control, so that's why I did not let it or allow it to defeat me. But other than that, mentally, I'm in a great state now. A couple of weeks back, I wasn't. So glory to God on that.
Okay, cool.
So
cool.
yes.
But what we got to do right now is we got I'm trying to catch the vibe, ride your way, Sunday. Trying to catch the vibe, hit the shoulders. I'm just trying to. You can't come on Television Talents and not vibe out with us. You know every word to the song.
But I don't know how to dance. I don't have no rhythm.
You got that one dance you knocking on the door. You can do this. Catch the vibe. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? So you think you got it?
I do not.
You got it. You can't let this.
Don't listen to him.
Look, let's just try.
Don't listen to him.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. You ready for it? I know it's in the shoulders. You gotta work your way to it. I'm gonna do it with you. Ready? I'm trying to catch the vibe. There you go. Work it out. Like knocking on the door. And then when you get there, you gotta catch the vibe. So you ride the way.
Don't do all that.
But anyway, y'all, that's how we gotta catch the vibe through the show. So look, y'all, my week has been great. I've been thugging back, y'all. I've been chilling. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep my mental strong. And that's what I'm doing. What's to look for, mama?
No reason.
This is my testimony. You had your time.
I'm okay.
Anywho, rudeness. But hey, y'all just been chilling. Y'all been doing these shows and stuff, taking it more serious. About to been working on getting this merchandise out so I can start dropping that, start seeing my brand out there, Television Talented. But other than that, y'all just been cooling one day at a time. And then today's show is really about is my mama's testimony about when she got shot. And what?
I didn't say nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so anywho, today the show is about my mama's testimony about when she got shot. So we just gonna dive right back into that. When did that happen, mama?
It happened July of '93 when it happened.
July '93. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it happened in July of '93.
So it'll be about 27 years from now.
27 years.
Okay. So break down the whole thing from what you can remember from that morning all the way to when that incident occurred.
Well, I know that June of '93, I gave birth to my second child, and I was going through postpartum depression, which at that time, people didn't speak on it like they do of today. So I just know something was going on with me mentally. I cried all the time. It's like I knew I was living, but it felt as if I wasn't. So I always had to ask people to pinch me to make sure if what I'm feeling or what I'm going through is real. And I always, I used to ask my sister, am I dreaming? Because it felt like something was on part of my brain that didn't allow me to notice the things that was happening in the now. And so I would ask different people to help me. They was like, what you going through? I'm like, I don't know, it's just something in my head. you know, I couldn't explain it. I just knew I didn't feel like myself. I knew I was living, but it seems, you know, like if you're in a dream, like if this really happening. And I just know when July approached, we went to Jefferson City for that 4th, and we had to come back because at that time the flood of '93 was taking place. And I know when I got back to St. Louis, I was very suicidal because I was reaching out to people that I thought could help me, but they didn't know because I couldn't explain to them what was really going on in my head. I just know I wasn't myself. I wasn't happy. I was sad. And here I am, just had this newborn baby. I didn't want him because I didn't know mentally how to be a mother to him. And so I remember, I'm not quite sure what date in July of '93 this happened. I just know that day when I decided to commit suicide. I was at home and I had took a nap. And what woke me up, Landon, he was like a little bit over 1 year old. I can just hear him say, "Pow, pow." And when I woke up, he had a gun to my head because we kept a pistol in the bedroom window when he found it. And so I can recall his little voice saying, "Pow, pow," and that woke me up. And I was shaking, and I'm like, wow, Lord, if this baby had the strength enough to have pulled that trigger, you know, no telling where I would have been. So I got up, I took the gun out of his hand, and I was in the bathroom. I went in the bathroom, and I'm like, you know what? Since nobody can help me, I'm just gonna go on and kill myself. So I remember going in the bathroom, and I was looking in the bathroom mirror, and I couldn't see my reflection in the mirror. I just saw darkness. And in my left ear, I kept hearing the enemy say to shoot yourself. And he was telling me exactly where to shoot myself. So my right ear, I was hearing the song Precious Lord. I kept hearing that melody in my right ear. But then I kept hearing the other voice telling me, Joda, if you shoot yourself, you don't have to worry about not being able to get the help that I needed. So I'm studying looking in a mirror and trying to see my reflection in this mirror, and I couldn't see me. And it's like if a shield went over my eyes, and I'm just studying thinking, I'm like, you know what? Since nobody can help me, I'm just going to go and kill myself. I was being selfish at the time. I wasn't thinking about who was going to be the mother to my 2 boys and, you know, all my little ones. I didn't care at that time because I figured they couldn't help me, you know, to get through what I was going through. So I asked my sister, Tammy, can you pray for me? She was like, you got to pray for yourself. And I'm like, I've been praying. I've been asking God to help me. I've been asking God to just live whatever was in my head that wasn't right. I said, God don't even love me. You know, that's what I was thinking at that time. I'm like, God don't even love me. So why do I want to live? You know, because being out your right mind, that stuff is real. You're not able to even think for yourself. And I can recall that the moment when I really decided to just end my life, the phone rang, and it was this young lady that lived upstairs. She had wanted to know, can we take her to get her daughter Wick? So I had, at the time I was married, I had paged my ex-husband and let him know that the girl wanted to know, can we take her to go get her Wick? And he called back and he was like, yeah. I said, well, I'm gonna ride with you all because I have to get Brandon's Wick also. So in the meantime, while he was on his way back to the house, I had put my clothes on, but everything was still cloudy in the inside. Everything was still dark. And I just felt darkness. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel wanted because I'm crying out, trying to seek for help that now I know that man couldn't give me the help that I needed. So anyway, he came and we called the girl back to ask what was the address. And she gave us the address, but she didn't tell us that to get to her location, we had to go down this one street because the street we went down was a one-way street. So anyway, we riding over there on Wabata and Goodfellow, and we turned on Wabata off of Goodfellow, and going that route, it's a one-way. So we went up that street, came back down, slowing down, trying to find the address. But we couldn't find the address because it was on the other end of Wabata. And so we went that route about 3 times before my sister, because at this time it was myself, Landon, my sister, and the newborn baby and my ex-husband. We was riding in a car down the street. And Landon, he was standing up in the middle of the seat. And the newborn baby and Tammy was in the back seat. So a guy came up to the car. What they did before he came up to the car, they cut the street lights off. So it was like a blackout on that particular block. So we ran down the street trying to find the address. And so a guy walked up to the car, and only thing I can remember is just hearing my sister say, "Go, they shooting." So the dude was at the driver's side of the car as we slowing down, trying to find the address. He started shooting, and God blocked all those bullets. This baby was standing up between me and his dad, and standing up, and the guy was just shooting. The driver's side rear view mirror got shot out, and as we got to the end of the corner, I'm like, I've been shot. And so I didn't know. I just know I felt pain in my stomach and in my arm. So I'm like, I've been shot. So at that time, everything went dark. I couldn't hear, I couldn't see. I was able to talk and like, just get me to the hospital. And so at that time, Regional Hospital was open. So we went to Regional Hospital. My sister was like, let me see. I'm like, no, I don't want y'all to see, because at that time, I didn't know how bad the bullet wound was. So we got to the hospital, and the triage nurse, she was like, what happened? I'm like, I've been shot. I said, I know it hit me in my stomach, and it hit me in my arm. I just know that my t-shirt had a big hole, because it grazed my stomach, and it entered into my arm. And so they got me in the back, and the only thing I can remember then is the doctors coming, and they was looking me over and stuff like that. And at this time, my right arm started swelling up with a bunch of blood. And the doctors, they came in, and it was like, we're going to take an x-ray, and we may have to give you a blood transfusion. So at that time, I'm like crying. Not because I got shot, I was crying because I'm like, whatever you do, please don't give nobody else blood. Because at that time, AIDS was still new, and we just knew at that particular time you get it from blood or, being homosexual. So I'd rather had still died at that time instead of getting some blood. So the doctor came in and did the x-ray to try to see exactly where the bullet went, if they have to do surgery to take the bullet out. So I'm laying there on the bed, and as I'm laying there, as the doctors was talking, I no longer can hear. I was going in and out of conscious. Things was getting like dark. And I'm laying there, and I couldn't talk, but I could, in my mind, I was talking to God. As things was getting dark, that's all I saw was darkness. And my eyes was just steady closing, and things was just steady getting dark. And so I had enough conscience to just pray and ask God, Lord, if you let me live, I will serve you. So I'm steady going in and out of conscious, things is steady getting dark. And this darkness was like I was just going into a tunnel. I can remember so clearly that I was going into this dark tunnel, And in this tunnel was like fire brimstone, not flaming fire, but like how when you like charcoal and a charcoal finally start burning, you get that red with that ash. That's what I was experiencing in this tunnel. So the deeper I started losing conscious, the darkness it got. And I'm in this thing and I'm just steady praying. Everything was happening. All my conscience was still on my right side. I couldn't hear anything on my left, and I couldn't see to open up my eyes. I just knew I had enough conscience on my right side to steady ask God, Lord, if you save me, I will serve you. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to die. When I thought I wanted to kill myself, I didn't want to die because I knew if I would have died, I knew where I was going to spend eternity. So I'm steady losing conscience, and at that time in my right ear, everything was steady fading away like from afar. So I'm steady going in this tunnel, like just fast in this tunnel going down. And the smell, that smell smelled like just rotten, decayed flesh. It stunk all in my nostrils. So I'm steady just praying, Lord, please don't let me die. And I'm like, Lord, just please, I'm steady pleading with God. If you let me live, I'm going to serve you. So the more I begin to say that, I can feel myself coming back, towards life. And I began to, my eyes were still shut because I couldn't open them. But I started seeing like light. The more I would pray and ask God, Lord, just bring me out of this situation. I just started seeing the light. And so when I was able to open up my eyes, I was laughing. It was a young man in the bed next to me. He got shot in that same drive-by. But once I got back to conscious, the police was in the room. They was interviewing him, and I can hear when the police was asking him what happened to him. He was saying he got shot, and they asked the location. So he told the police the location, and the doctors came. They said, I believe this young lady here, she was in that same shooting. And so as I began to get all my sense back and stuff, but I still smelled that death smell. And that type of odor is like an odor that will stick to you forever. And I just started laughing. I wasn't laughing because stuff was funny. I was laughing because I know that God brought me out. And so the young man, he was like, man, what is funny? And I can remember telling him, if you knew God like I know him, you'll be laughing too. And I explained to him, I wasn't laughing. I was laughing because, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I was laughing because God brought me from death. Hallelujah. 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 Woo, hallelujah. God brought me out. So they did the x-ray. The bullet didn't hit a nerve, but I still have that bullet right to this day. You can see it. Whew, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. I'm telling you now, for those that don't believe that there's an afterlife, it's an afterlife. For those that don't believe that God is real, God is real. Because I'm telling you, that day in July of 93, I was on my way to hell. Just as quick as I can blink. God will hear your humble cry just when you think he's not listening. I didn't have enough sense, but I had enough sense to call on his name and ask him to bring me out. Just when I thought I wanted to die because could nobody help me? Did nobody understand what I was going through mentally? But God had mercy on me. And once I got out the hospital, I started just talking to him. I say, Lord, I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to share my story. And I've been sharing my story ever since. When people, I used to, I'm going to show you. I used to put nail polish. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can maybe see it, but I got this. I don't know if they can see it. But the bullet went here. And this keloid was way bigger than this. It shrunk over the years. But I used to put nail polish right there. Different color nail polish. So when I'm out in public, people would ask, what is this? And I would tell them, this right here, this is my story. And they like, what you mean your story? And I would go back to the day when I wanted to die by my own hand. And I still could have died by somebody else's. But God stepped in. And he said, not today. This is not your day. So I wrote my story. This is one of my stories. This wound right here is one of my stories. That when the enemy try to plant things in your head, you better believe that God is bigger than what the enemy got to offer. And that's something I had to learn. That's one thing I never ever said again. I don't care what I go through, how I go through it. Suicide is not the answer. It is not the answer. I don't give a hell of a bean. I just knew if I would have took my last breath, because when I say my arm was filling up with blood, and at that time I was way smaller than this, my arm was huge with a blood pocket. And the doctors took these two hands and they pressed on that wound, and blood just shot out everywhere. So I started bleeding internal until it started swelling out so they can pressure. That's my testimony. I was sharing with my son that tunnel, that darkness. It's darker than you just closing your eyes with all the lights and TVs off. That darkness is, I'm telling you, it is dark. And that tunnel just dropping, just going in this tunnel, just steady dropping. It was real for me. It was real because I know what I experienced. And I know the closer I got, and it seemed like this going down that tunnel slope, it never ended. So before I can even thought that I was reaching the bottom, God came. But I just know in my mind, like I said, my conscience was just only on my right, going down that slope in that darkness and seeing this fire brimstone type of stuff. And the only way I can describe it is like that charcoal. When that charcoal finna reach its peak to let you know that your fire is ready. That's how I can describe it. And the deeper I got, that smell, that odor. If y'all ever smelled a decaying body, it stink. Rotten meat, it stink. And that's how it smelled. I couldn't taste, I couldn't feel, I smelled nothing but death, rotten flesh. For years, I can sniff and I can smell it in my nose. And I remember years after this happened, every time somebody died, I can just smell death. And I used to be at work asking people, do y'all smell something? They like, smell what? I'm like, just like rot flesh. You know, God opened up my sense of death when death is around, you know. And it just, at that time, I wasn't scared to die, but when I realized where I was going to spend eternity, that put fear in me. And I can recall I was terrified of guns, being around them, seeing them even on TV. But that day being shot, and I know what it felt like to be shot, that's a fear that God took away from me. But I just know that without his goodness, his grace and mercy, I wouldn't be here right now. And that was just one of my testimonies. You know, when you think you're ready to die, and when God is not finished with your assignment down here, don't be so quick to want to end your life. Because guess what, people? It's something outside of just a human life. You know, people say, oh, that's just in your mind. Well, guess what? I must have a hell of imagination, because I know what I experienced was real. And I know it's nothing, what I experienced is nothing like we see on TV. All this flame and stuff. It's not like that. That ain't what I saw. That is not what I experienced. I just know that mental health is real. Suicide, that's real. I've been there. And I would tell anybody, help is always available if you want the help. I was almost too late. Because if I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I really wanted to die that day, God would have took his hand of grace and mercy away and just let me be in hell. And I used to cry telling this story, but I have worse stories than this. That's why I can't cry. I can just only rejoice. So I don't know who I'm talking to. If you get to that point where you think that taking your own life is the answer, guess what? It's not. Because you have a final destination. You have to spend eternity. You have family members that's going to have questions that they will never get the answers to. Because nowadays, when people commit suicide, they don't leave that final note explaining why they did it. They just one day do it, and boom, bam, they gone. Tell anybody, if you want to be kept, God will keep you. If you want to change your life, God can do it. It ain't man. It's not the doctor. It's not the medicine. It's trusting God, knowing that he can bring you out of a horrible pit. I'm a living witness to it. A living witness to it. And I just know that week, even before I wanted to commit suicide, my bedroom window got shot. It's a bullet hole in my window. And I took that as a sign that, you know what? It is my time to go. It was like certain things that was happening that I took it as a sign of it's time for me to, you know what? Make this happen. Just when you think that no one cares, it's people out there that care. It's people out there that love you. And here I was going to be selfish, to take my own life because I couldn't handle what was going on up here. I didn't know. If you never experienced being out your right mind, it's something. Get the help you need. Seek God. Ask God to just lay his hand on your mind. I had to do that many times. Lord, hey, something ain't right. Help me. You know, send somebody that can. But it's real. Depression, anxiety, mental illness, that stuff is real. And the doctors, what they want to say, oh, it's chemically off balance. That mess is orchestrated from the devil itself. That's why you always pray and ask God to close you in your right mind. You know, we not perfect. We're not going to never be perfect. But once your mind is gone, I remember being a child. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste. I didn't know what that meant at first, but I sure know what it means today. When you lose your mind, you just lost forever. Pray for yourself. Ask people to pray for you. Because I wouldn't be here if God wouldn't have been in my business that day. I would have been gone. My kids would have never got to know who their mother was. And I knew where I was going, straight to hell. And that's one place I never want to go. Because I know what I experienced back in 93. I knew what I smelt back in 93. I knew what I felt back in 93. And that's something I don't want. So regardless what you're going through, it's help. But you would have to want it for yourself. And I wanted it for me. I didn't allow somebody to want help because they wanted me around. I wanted it for me because I knew once whatever I was going through, it would pass. Nothing lasts forever but eternal life. Nothing. Every storm has that cloud that has to going a different direction. It don't always rain forever. It don't always storm forever. But when you in your storm, just know you're not by yourself. And that's something I had to get. And I tell people what I've been through. Because all the time, I don't look like what I've been through. But some days, I feel like what I've been through. But I thank God for his grace and mercy. New mercy every day. Because life and death, and it's after you take your last breath, you have to go somewhere. And don't let it be hell, because it is real. And I don't care what people may say, it ain't no God. I don't care for those that say they are God. Well, guess what, niggas? You can't be on God because you don't control your life. You may think you do, but you don't. And people say that. They so quickly to say, oh, ain't nothing after death. Well, try dying and ask God to let you come back and tell us what was after death. We so foolish sometimes because what we see on TV or what we hear somebody else say that may sound the truth. And we'll run with that because it sounds so good or it may look so good. But I just hope what I'm saying may help somebody. It's not the end when you think it's your end. Because, mark my word, God truly has the last say-so. He has the last say-so, and I'm a living witness and I'm a testimony to this, that it's not the end. And I stared death in the face on numerous of times. Even as a child, death stared me in my face. And at that time, what I was going through, I didn't know what it was. But as I got older, I knew what it was. Death is real. Hell, heaven is for real. I just know I can't speak on heaven because my experience was taking me to hell. Not just because I wanted to kill myself, because the lifestyle I was living at that time was sending me to hell. But now, since I know that God is greater than anything that we experience, that you can make it. Just want to say God bless you all. And always keep God first. Regardless what God you serve, keep him first. Because he knows way better than we know for ourselves. And God bless you all. And pray for one another. Even your enemies, pray for those. Because you never let your enemies defeat you. If it's something that you're holding on to for years, let it go. Because guess what? You giving your enemy the glory, you giving them the victory. Until you allow yourself to let that mess go that happened years ago, you steady giving them the upper hand. And that's something I had to learn too, to let it go. Because a lot of times we dying inside because we steady holding on to stuff that God been trying to get us to let go for years. That stuff is killing you. It's destroying you. See, that's a lot of times where we get our mental issues from stuff that happened to us years ago that we don't want to let go. God showed you, he even brought people your way to help you to just let go of that heavy load. But you still want to hold on to this mess, and guess what it's doing? It's destroying you from the inside out. With heart problems, diabetes, blood pressure, mental stress, anxiety, let that mess go. That's what I had to do, is to let it go. That's my testimony for today. God bless you and I love you, and may he keep y'all in y'all perfect peace. And always pray that God just have mercy on your mind, because once your mind is gone, you set everything else up for everything else to enter in your temple and to destroy you. So without your mind, you don't even have enough sense to even ask God to help you. You don't even have enough sense to even go to your friend or your family and say, hey, I'm in a situation, can you help me? You pray and ask God to keep your mind set free. And he will do it. Because he did it for me. And I'm telling people and I'm talking about it. He would do it. Because I just know what I experienced in 93. And that was a suicide attempt. And even being shot. And that was in a drive-by. But I just knew that was my wake-up call that it's not your time because God has greater for you. And suicide is never the answer. We may think it is. I can say it from experience. It's not the answer. And it's not. Because it's going to leave your family members or your loved ones hurting for a long time. And parents, pay attention to your kids. So many young babies now, they hanging themselves or suffocating themselves because they being bullied. And if we were so close monitoring our children, that would never happen. You should be so close to your kids that you can feel when their next heartbeat's finna take place. But we so all over the place now to where we popping out babies and they raising themselves. And then when stuff like this happen, then we want to point the finger at somebody else. Pray for your kids. Know where they at all times. Not saying that you can keep up with them at all times, but at least you can pray for them at all times. What happened to those good old days where grandmama or big mama or mamos, they prayed for the whole family. Prayer still works in these days we live in. Praying changed, just the method of how we do it changed. God bless.
That's what's up. So I had a couple questions for you. So you said you was calling people and nobody was there for you to give you the answers. What answers was you looking for?
I can't say what else I was looking for because I just know. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't even know what answer. I was just hoping that somebody would have told me that, or could explain to me why I was going through what I was going through. So looking at it back now and today, my answers would have been totally different. I don't know what I was looking for. I just knew I needed some help. Couldn't nobody help me. So I was going to help myself. And that was putting that gun to my head and taking my own life. Because I felt at that time I couldn't get the help. Because people weren't talking about it like they do now. Postpartum depression, that's a real thing.
So if somebody contact you in the situation you was in, reaching out for help, what advice would you give them?
Oh, I'm going to start praying first. And I'm going to keep in contact. That's what.
What kind of encouragement would you leave them with?
I'm going to tell them what I went through. You know, sometimes when we tell our story, it helps someone that's either in a similar situation. It helps. So when we tell our story, it helps because some people feel like I'm in this all by myself. Don't nobody understand. Excuse me. Can't nobody help. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Somebody can help. So the more you tell it, people would know, hey, so-and-so said she went through something similar and this how she got out of it. So you talk about it. That's how you help. Don't always trying to push a pill. That's only temporary. So many of these pills come with side effects that's worse than what you're going through. Sometimes a person, let me tell you something. Back in 2009, I had a doctor appointment. So I had cancer back in 2009, 2010. I went to the doctor for one thing, and the nurse practitioner, she asked me a question. From that one question, I wind up in a psych ward. I wind up there in a psych ward. Let me tell you something. Only thing I wanted somebody to do was listen. Don't pass judgment. Don't give me your advice. Don't give me your opinion. Sometimes just being a listening ear can make a difference. And when I had my therapy section with this doctor, he just took notes. He didn't ask a question. He just listened. And every time when I thought I was finished, he say, Joda, is there something else you need to say? when I started pouring out, emptying out myself, I felt better. And I told him, thank you. I said, thank you. I said, because that's all I need. I would have never wind up there. I said, every time I try to tell my story, I wind up helping someone else. Forget about what I was going through. So not only did I have what my issues, I had this person issue, that person issues. All this was balled up. Sometimes a person just needs to just empty themselves out and just need an ear to listen. And that goes a long way. That helped me. I've never been back.
Okay.
But just that one day going for something else, and I wind up there and talk to a doctor. He didn't put me on no medicine, and he told me he better not never see me there again. And I ain't never been back. So sometimes that's the best way you can help, just by being an ear.
So what can I help with now? What you got to pour out in? Because I talk to you every day, and you hold a lot of stuff in. And then I see it consuming you, but you still give me excuses that I act like I'm listening to. So if you had to pour out right now to keep helping people and to strengthen yourself mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, what would you release today?
Wow.
Yeah, don't lie, because you know I can dig in the bag.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, because you know what? Sometimes I still deals with not being loved, because I really feel like I am loved. I really truly feel that. Oh, being appreciated. That's what it is. That's what I struggle with, because sometimes a person lip service can say they appreciate you, but their actions say something different. And stuff like that really hurts me deep within, to where it makes me very angry when I see that the more I do, the more you want. That right there. Because it's not self-esteem issues. I dealt with that in the 80s. I got past that before I got out of high school. So it's just not feeling appreciated. Every now and then, it really feels good for someone to genuinely appreciate all that you do or have said for them. That's my...
So what's the best way you want a person to show you the appreciation?
Not always trying to, what's the word? Not throw salt. Like when you do something for them, they always want more, or I compare what you did for somebody else to their situation. I don't like stuff like that.
Okay.
You know? And just one more thing that bothers me, and it's not about me. It's just that, like the other night, I was sitting at my sister's table, and just watching her trying to eat and swallow, that's so difficult. We take so much for granted. You know, we especially our health, we take that for granted. And just knowing my sister has all these health issues, and sometimes people will look at her and say, well, you don't look sick. I didn't know that all the time sickness had to look a different, you know, sickness had to manifest itself. And just knowing that my prayer is just asking God to like just heal her from some of the stuff she go through. That just weighs me down more than a lot of other stuff. Just knowing some days she don't even get enough nutrition because she's not able to eat because of the pain she in. And just watching that, it just really had me crying to where I was up all night just praying and asking God. We so ungrateful as people and stuff. So that's why I say pray for one another, because you never know what people or person go through just because they don't wear their feelings or they heart on their sleeve. We all go through some hidden things that keep us locked in a closet or keep us down, and then we want to smile and laugh when we get around people so they won't see our hidden pain.
Okay, speaking of that, because you know, Television Talents is the real show, right? And I like to go in people's bodies. So what's holding you back? So what's things that you put a facade on? What you afraid to face? What holds you back? What's things you regret Things you scared to achieve.
Oh, you know that answer.
Nah, they don't know the answer. You ain't talking to me. This your testimony.
My business ain't for everybody.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it's called healing, right? Did you say that?
Fear, like, okay, like I want to start this business. And it's several of them, but they can all be in the same box. And it's just, I hold myself back from really getting started selling my products. You know, I cook, I bake, I do craft work, stuff like that. I sit at home and I got this one bedroom, it's full of stuff that I made, like candle holders, home decor stuff. And it just sits there. But it's like therapy to me, just making it. It helps my mind, it helps me mentally. And people always say, well, you should sell it, just like cooking and stuff. I loves to cook, I loves to bake. And I want to be my own boss with doing something like that. But it's just me holding myself back from actually getting started. I had people to actually, that made it, you know, millionaires that sent me books on how to go from your starter to actually doing what you want to do and stuff. And like 1 minute I'd be on the ball, like, you know what, I'm just gonna post my stuff on Facebook and go from there. But then something can happen and I doubt myself. So doubt. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. No, I don't think that's it.
Well, what else?
It's a lot. So we gonna do a recap about everything we went on, and then I'm gonna tell you. Then it's gonna open up more things, right?
Okay, because he's trying to be in my business.
Okay, so 93, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got shot. Well, you want to lose your life.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 93 you had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You had a suicide attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got shot.
Mm-hmm. That same day.
The same day, 2002 came. You got cancer.
No,
2009 you had cancer. So with all that going, what's your goals for yourself now?
I think I met my goals by helping others.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's not a goal.
I'm happy.
No,
you know?
but happiness is only so deep.
No, because
no, listen, because I'm gonna get in your feelings right now. Because if you was happy and that was your goal and your purpose in life, because a goal and a purpose is two different things.
Correct.
You wouldn't want to start a business.
But that's just something I want to do.
Maybe helping people is just a passion. Maybe that's something you want to do, but not what God wants you to do.
Oh, helping people, I know that's part of my calling.
But at the same time, you can help them through different things. By they buying your plate, they can feel comfortable with your food, and you can minister to them too. So what you want to do? What's your purpose and your passion? And I think you're chasing your passion, not your purpose.
So what is it? I don't know.
Well, you heard you watched my show, Your Vision and Your Imagination, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and you talked. You said as a kid, you always you see yourself cooking, have your own restaurant, and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To this day, what are you still trying to open? What's one thing you just told people? Oh, I want to start this business about cooking and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your vision and your imagination when you was a child, having a cooking restaurant, you still chasing that now, but you trying to say you like helping people. That's a passion. Your purpose is cooking, but you have self-doubt or fears kick in. When fear kicks in, here comes depression. And depression equals anxiety. Anxiety means you sitting back and watching everybody else feel their purpose in life while you doubting yourself.
Okay.
So, one thing you didn't do yesterday, what would you do tomorrow to make your passion come true? Your purpose?
Stop procrastinating.
Okay, but it's easy to say. Like you said, people got great mouthpieces on them that we can make our mouth say anything.
Mm-hmm.
We lie to ourselves every day. So why would you say that and lie to me when you know tomorrow you might not do anything? I thought you said actions means 1,000 words.
Action do speak louder than words. I don't know, because it still boils down to me. It still boils down to fear with me. Because, like, you know, growing up when people always shadow your dreams or not saying that you won't never amount to anything. I never experienced that, and I don't like to use words haters. When people see greater in you and you percent greater to them, but then they come with their negative opinion or stuff like that, it puts a damper in your spirit to make you like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And that's what happened. Because I can have my cheerleaders on one hand, and those same cheerleaders on one hand, they be the same one that I allow to knock me back down. And that's something I never dealt with, how to cope with that. How when somebody that's supposed to have your back, they stabbing you in the back too. I don't know how to deal with that. So it just makes me like, you know what, I'm going to take my fat behind somewhere and sit back down in the back and just continue doing that. So that's my thing. That's why I haven't got to where I need to be. Because of people that I think that would support and like, you know, push. And they only push when they want to. They only push when they see me just sitting there. But then when I decide to get up and do it, then they come with their criticism. I don't handle criticism too well because it makes me want to clap back.
Okay.
So that's my thing.
Okay. That sounds good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a word to justify all you said.
Yes, it is.
It's called excuses.
Exactly.
So I'm going to tell you a story, right?
I just told you.
I know, but I'm going to tell you a story, right? Because you say stories help people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started Television Talented,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, you expecting the people to be there for you. The people you expect to have your back,
Mm-hmm.
right? They weren't there for me. But now look at me now. I just hit 1,000 views on YouTube. You know, that's hard to do. I got 1,000 people in the group. I got people following me.
Mm-hmm.
Wanna know why? Because I'm following my purpose in life.
Yeah.
Versus these people who you expect to be there for you, they're not even meant to be on your journey.
That's
So
true.
stop
But
bringing
everybody
people along.
needs some encouragement.
Okay, encourage yourself.
I do, but it's just not. I encourage myself, but it's not to push me to my goal, my dreams. That's the thing.
Okay, cool. So what would mean more to you? You supported by 1,000 people who want to see you fail, or you want to be supported by one person who want to see you succeed?
Oh, most definitely, hands down, the one that wants to see me.
No, because you figure that one person, you like, no, that's not enough. But these 1,000 people smile on your face like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. That's what we chasing.
One thing about me, I never dealt in numbers. I'm like this. That faithful few would keep me going instead of a bunch of numbers. Whether it's trying to cook or sell home decor, that faithful few keeps me going. I don't deal with numbers because sometimes numbers lies because we all miscount somewhere in life.
Okay, so what's holding you back now?
Nothing holding me back now.
So what could a person do to help you get closer to your dream?
I don't have an answer to that.
So what you lacking right now to drop your business?
It still boils to me.
Okay,
Not just,
that's why I said what you're lacking.
I don't know, just being lazy and I guess excuses like you said.
Okay, so what motivation are you going to seek into? Because you said as a child, you faced death. Faced death in 93. 2009, when you got cancer, you could have faced death. Every day we wake up, there's still another chance. But we still could face death by driving and doing other things in life. So when you know you want to stop procrastinating and follow your dreams, you play Russian roulette on Felon. Why not play Russian roulette on Succeed?
I don't know, I never look at it like that.
Well, that's the way we finna look at it today.
Oh, okay. But I never looked at it like that, so it's a good question. You have some good questions that I don't always have the answers to.
Hey, well, this is just a way to put yourself in a better mind frame.
That's true too.
Okay.
Mr. Robot.
I got you. So what's some motivation words before we end this up for some people? Should I play this song to?
Yeah, play the song because it's easy for me to just say believe in yourself and all the time, you know, I can't tell you all to do something that I don't do, is to believe in myself. But, you know, if that's what y'all want to hear, to believe in yourself, don't worry about what somebody else got to say. I'm giving y'all some false stuff because I do that sometimes. And it's not everybody that who opinion counts. It's just the ones that's closer to my heart that when they get like that makes me want to crawl under a shell. Because if I don't know you, your opinion don't mean nothing to me, no way. But anyway, believe in yourself, because I'm going to try to do that. Believe that I can do all things. And that's one scripture I always tell people. You can do all things through Christ Jesus who gives you the strength to do it. And another thing I need to do is practice what I preach, because I can tell people, but then when it comes to myself, I want to medicate myself with something else instead of medicating myself with something I tell somebody else that'll help them. And sometimes the advice we give somebody else, we need to take it first and then try to apply it to somebody else's life.
Facts.
So that's what I need to do.
You ready for the song?
I'm ready.
All right, cool.
I just ain't need some horn.
You heard the song?
Open my eyes, I wanna see you. Open my ears, I wanna hear you speak. Tell me your thoughts, what's on your mind. I'll be your friend, I wanna see through your eyes, wanna see through your eyes. Lord, I don't wanna rush out ahead in my own strength when you're right here. Lord, I don't wanna rush out ahead in my own strength
I can tell.
when you're right here. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking.
Okay.
So that's a little motivational for you to get some juices in your mind flowing. So before we close out, what did that song speak to you through? Because it's bringing tears to your eyes.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I do know.
Don't lie today.
I'm not. I was just finna say I do know. It just really makes me want to just cry because it do, because we are our own worst critics, and sometimes you need to cry to get all the BS out your eyes so you can see clearly, and that's how I feel now. But my son always tells me, Mama, you need to stop excuses, because he heard me tell him that. See, he doing what he's doing. But I don't know. I was just always that type of person that don't believe in myself. Because for so many years, when you has been shot down so many times, it makes you feel that way.
So you speaking that metaphorically, or you speaking that like because it actually happened?
This actually happened.
Okay.
I'm speaking truth on that, and I don't know, because so many people can see greater in me, and sometimes I don't see it because I never was the type to toot my own horn about stuff. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know some things I'm great at doing it, but it's just that when letting go, like I was trying to tell you all, to let stuff go. It's just some things that I haven't let go. Not saying that I don't know how to let it go, but it's been times when I would let it go, and then it'll repeat itself, so I pick it back up. And it's just some things just hard for me to just like move forward. Like my brother tells me, he was like, you know what, you so smart, you don't give yourself credit for it. He's like, anything you want to know, you'll go read and research. I love to read because I'm not the type that you gonna tell me anything and I'm gonna take what you say. I'm gonna do my own research. I'm gonna read it. That's always been me. I'm not just taking what you say if I know it's in a book or on a piece of paper. I'm gonna read it for myself, and he always tell me that I'm so smart, but I don't give myself enough credit. That's because I wasn't taught to pat myself on the back. I let my work speak for itself. And sometimes it's just, like you said, excuses. But it's still my truth.
Or, you know what else can be?
What?
Self-gratification.
It could.
Because, I'm gonna give you this analogy and we'll close it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have people at the house, right? What do you give them? You give them a hospitality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 9 times out of 10, you make them a plate or you give them a cup. You fill it all the way to the brim and you give it to them, right?
I'm listening.
And what they do is they take one sip and put the cup there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or have you had people come and you cook for them and they ate all the food you haven't get a plate, right?
You saying they who?
Like you had a gathering,
Mm-hmm.
people came over, you cooked in the kitchen, and then by the time you want to eat, want nothing there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have that happened to you before?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, anything you do in life, you have to give to yourself first. You giving people all your greatness, and you're not consuming it for yourself. And then when you do try to consume it, either it's broken, dogged out, misused, or it's just worthless at the time. Before you try to give out all your love, you have to reciprocate the love to yourself, because whatever you reciprocate to yourself, you're going to give to others.
But see, I agree. But then when you be called selfish for doing such an act, then what you do?
Okay? We all have to be selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Think about it. God was selfish. He gave love to himself enough to want to die for us. A selfish person. If you okay, you never looked at it like that?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. You think outside the box, in the box, on the four corners. I don't. So I just never looked at it like that.
Yeah, that's the way to look at it.
You know.
Because if something means that much to you, you want to just make sure it means that much to you first. Then it's going to mean that much to other people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say, oh, you got to put 100%. Well, I give, don't mean I receive it back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of people do. They give the wrong investment.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't putting their stocks and bonds in the right
Mm-hmm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in yourself by love.
Mm-hmm.
And then watch everything you do with your baking and cooking. All that stuff is going to flourish from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know how we got to do it right now. This your boy Leonard for Television Talented. You know, I love you. God loves you. Television Talented love you. There's only one way through heaven, is through God Himself. Trust God, understand and lean on God for all directions, and just know you always can find a light in the dark place. And no matter if you're going to hell, look, my mom was a living witness of it. She found the light. Now look at her now, telling her testimony. And then y'all just love. Put yourself in the right mind frame and just stay encouraged through everything. You got any words?
Oh, no.
No. Why not? I'm now. But hey, y'all know.